Block 1 will use stitch number 11.
I'm working on block number 1, and all we're going to do in this block is just outline around each of the leaves and the stems. When we get to the flower, we'll lift it back and just pass on through, come back around the leaf, and so on. So let's get started. And I'm basically, I would say about 1/8 of an inch away from the leaf. And then I'm going to come back down around the other way. And then come up along the stem. I'm going to pull back that flower. Now we're going to come up here, we'll go around this leaf. And we'll keep going around the whole inside of this in that manner. Okay, I've echoed around all the leaves and all the inner stem. And while we're in here, rather than work on the outside now, I'm going to go ahead and put the filler in here so that I don't have to break off thread. So all we're doing here is just a small meandering stitch. Basically what we're doing with this meandering stitch is forcing the batting to lay down and let the stem and the leaves and the flowers be the stars of this block. And now you know my secret about meandering. You're all going to be wondering what I'm trying to write out as I'm doing the stitching. But that will be between me and me. I've got the whole center of this floral wreath stippled or meandered, and now we are ready to go to the outside. But again, rather than break thread, one of the reasons I never had you tack these flowers down totally was so that we would have the ability to lift them up like we did for our stitching. And also that I can lift this up now and I can walk right across the stem and you'll never see it when we're done. So now let's go ahead and do the outer stem. And now we're going to do around the bud. Now when we get to the loose part, again, all you have to do is fold it back and just stitch as close to it as you can. Just make sure you don't get it caught, and then we'll come down the other side. Now we're ready to travel up the stem some more. Now we're hitting a flower, so we're going to pull it back and just go around it until we get to the next bud. Now we're going to go ahead again. We're going to go around the bud. We're going to fold the bud down and stitch as close to that as we can without catching the bud fabric in. Let it go. Come back down again. Around the side of the bud. Connect where we left off. And keep going around the stem. Now you'll continue on like that until you get it stitched all the way around. So I've gone all the way around the outer edge of the vine as well as the buds, and I am back to where I started from. So now I'm going to continue on with my meandering. when you get to the bud, just pull it back. And the same thing when you get to the flower, pull it back. And we'll just continue to do the meandering stitch all through the outer edge. Now if you get to an edge where you seem to have a little bit of puffiness along between the two seams, just kind of go down to the seam and scoop that fabric back up like that. That'll help to work the fabric back in, or the fullness back in. Once you get all the stippling done, now it's time to tack these yo-yo flowers down so they're not flopping all over the place and they hold up in the laundry. So I've got a threaded needle here, and I'm just going to come in the bottom of the flower like so. And I'm going to take a stitch just to make sure, you just want to make sure that you don't go through to the back. But I'm just going to take a tacking stitch here. And just continue on around the flower, just tacking it down to your quilt. Just grabbing a few threads of your quilt to make sure it's not going through to the back. And we're going to go all the way around the flower. And you can see now how it's being held down, but because I went in about, a quarter of an inch from the edge, I still have that free form look. So you're going to do that around all your flowers, and you're also going to do it on your buds. After you have the flower stitched down, it sits much flatter against your fabric as compared to these ones that are just laying there. So that's what you want to do after you're all done quilting. You didn't want to do that previously because you would not have been able to lift it up to do the work underneath. Now we can tack them down, and now it will look much, much better. And then this block number 1 will be done.
Join us in the next lesson for block number 2.